He says it means truly humble under God. I guess it'll be up to a jury to decide if it means pushing positivity or something else. All right, everybody, welcome back. Today, we're here to react to the Young Thug trial. All right, so first of all, let's just cover the basics. There's a trial going on in Georgia. This is a RICO trial. This is like a mob trial, a racketeering trial. Young Thug was initially charged, I believe, with 22 co-defendants. A bunch of those defendants have either rolled over on him, taken plea deals, or some of those cases, I think 11 or 12 of them had been dismissed. And right now, as we speak, there's a trial going on in a Georgia courtroom where Young Thug and 5 or 6 co-defendants all on trial at the same time with him on these RICO charges. And what he's being charged for is essentially being a mob boss. He's being charged for running a street gang. One of the allegations against him is that he provided a rental car that fellow gang members could then use to go carry out a hit. He's also being charged with ordering a hit. He's being charged with other criminal activity related to running what his alleged gang was, a gang that they refer to as YSL.
This is the law of the jungle, as old and as true as the sky. And the wolf that shall keep it may prosper, but the wolf that shall break it must die. As the creeper that girdles the tree trunk, the law running forward and back. For the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack.
So they're making a big deal, you know, the deputy DA who's actually trying the case. Now, let's just back up for a second, right? I think it's important to realize that there's a district attorney in Atlanta that's a very famous district attorney, largely because of the Donald Trump case and the charges against Donald Trump that are slowly working their way through the Atlanta criminal justice system. And so the Atlanta County District Attorney, Fannie Willis, she's assigned a deputy DA to actually try the case. The deputy DA opened the trial by reading a section of the original, not the Disney version, but the original Jungle Book, right? And the point I think she's trying to make is that, she's trying to tie together these themes of a RICO case where you've got a wolf, right, running the wolf pack. And so that's allegedly, in this case, Young Thug is the leader of this gang, and all of those people who are under him following his lead and carrying out those things that he wishes to be done.
There's nothing wrong with holding up a blood sign, but that's not a blood sign. A blood sign is like this. It looks like a B. That is a P. Jeffrey's fingers are down. And what you'll learn is that Jeffrey just released, with Sergio Kitchens, performer known as Gunna, a song that is wildly popular. It's around the globe. It's called Pushing P. And it's positivity. It means any circumstance you're in, if you think positively about something, you could make it through.
Okay, so what you just saw there and what happened is the prosecution was attempting to use a photograph, right? A photograph where they allege in the image the man is flashing a B, a gang sign that's a B for Bloods, right? Young Thug's attorney instead is saying, no, it's not a B, it's actually a P. And the reason he was flashing a P is because one of his associates and one of the people in his YSL record label, Gunna, had just released an album or a song called Pushing P, which, according to Young Thug's lawyer, meant pushing positivity. I guess it'll be up to a jury to decide if it means pushing positivity or something else. This is one of the big issues in the case, right? And this is probably the most controversial issue, and one of the reasons, well, one of the many reasons this case is getting so much attention is in Atlanta, in the state of Georgia, the prosecution in this case is being allowed to use some of Young Thug's rap lyrics to prove that he actually did some of these things that are alleged in making up the RICO case, okay? It's very unique as it's compared to California law, and especially recent California law. But it's also unique for other reasons. It ties this case actually almost in a strangely close way to the Donald Trump case that's also taking place in Georgia. Very, very similar. Remember, Donald Trump charged with a RICO violation, so is Young Thug, right? Donald Trump, the evidence that he was guilty of a conspiracy was that he made statements both on Twitter, made a phone call to the state of Georgia and the election representatives asking them to find more votes, things like that, right? And so Donald Trump's argument and his team's argument in that case is those statements are protected by the First Amendment. They're not made in a courtroom. They're not made under oath. They can't now be brought into a courtroom for the truth of the matter asserted. And the same thing applies to Young Thug and the rap lyrics. Now, I actually think it's a much better argument for Young Thug's team because those rap lyrics are used in a song that's arguably a creative process. You know, that is something that, at least to me, strikes me as something that should avail itself of First Amendment protection more so than the President of the United States at the time making statements on Twitter or elsewhere. But it is a similar argument. We're trying to use these out-of-court statements, one being statements from a president, the other being rap lyrics, to prove conspiratorial conduct under a RICO charge in a Georgia courtroom.
And that fit in to the appearance of the gangster rap. Because most people think about a thug as a criminal. But to Jeffrey, thug had a different meaning. Now, some of you read books about Tupac and what it meant to be thug life. Thug life, the hate you give little infants, F's, everyone. Meaning discrimination and racism hurts all of us. We teach that to our kids. That was not what thug meant to Jeffrey. Thug meant and means to Jeffrey something very personal. It was his path that if he could ever make it as a musical artist and help his family, himself, and as many others out of this endless cycle of hopelessness, he would be truly humble under God. That's what thug means.
We just watched Young Thug's lawyer, a portion of his opening statement, right? And what he's trying to do, and I'll leave it to all of you to judge. In fact, feel free in the comments to tell me what you think. But what it appears he's trying to do is he's trying to explain away his client's rap name, right? So his client's rap name's Young Thug, right? And he ties it back to, you know, Michael Jackson's song PYT, and then ultimately Tupac writing a song many years later, Tupac's definition of thug life. And then he finally, after many minutes of trying to explain or getting ready to explain what thug means, the acronym, I guess if you will, thug means to his client, Jeffrey Williams, he says it means truly humble under God. Now, it's not for me to judge whether or not that's accurate. I think the reality is you can come up with a word or an acronym and you can change the meaning whenever you want, okay? That's reality. But it'll be up to a jury, in this case, in the state of Georgia to decide whether or not they believe that. I doubt that that's a critical component of this case, number one. But I think it's something that's gotten a lot of media attention because it's, on its face, maybe kind of ridiculous, right? Again, I'm not judging it. It may be true. But his attorney did, in my opinion, an admirable job of at least getting up with a straight face and trying to convince this jury that the thug in Young Thug stands for truly humble under God.
First things first, I do not care that you're a multi-platinum selling rapper, Gunrag. What I care about is that I 100% know that you murdered Darnell Simmons. So you better start talking.
Yeah, but you ain't got none.
Okay. I'm very glad that you said that. Because respectfully, I beg to differ.
I killed Darnell, yeah, I shot him with my 9. I shot him 9 times, 9 p.m. on the dime.
Okay. So this is actually pretty good. So this is actually a good example of how the California law would work, right? I mean, so under the new California law, in order to introduce a rap lyric into evidence, you got to first show that the lyric was written proximal, right? Meaning in a proximal period of time to when the crime occurred. Then the lyric has to be specific as to the crime, right? And it has to be specific as to the crime with information that would not be widely known. So you can't just come out there and say, oh, somebody got, shot on the highway on a Friday night, right? It has to be more specific. So here in the Key and Peele sketch, it's like shot 9 times with my 9 on November the 9th. That's pretty specific. That might be enough. If it was written in close proximity to the date of the crime, that's probably enough to come into evidence under the California statute.
And by the way, it was November 9th.
That don't mean nothing. I got a vivid imagination. I couldn't have shot Darnell. I was at my cousin's birthday party. Red Lobster, November 9th.
Red Lobster.
At Red Lobster? Mm-hmm. Jeez, I gotta tell you, Gunrag, I find that really hard to believe.
I got an alibi, birthday, Red Lobster. When in reality, I shot Darnell like a monster. It's a lie. Anyone could tell this if you know about my allergy to all shellfish.
The funny thing is, this actually, I was just explaining, this would get in under California law, right? It's so specific. He's even denying his alibi in his rap lyrics.
Just confess, Gunrag.
How is no one taking Gunrag as a rap name, by the way?
Tell this. It's just words. Nouns, adjectives. They just happen to be in a dope order, but we ain't got no pearl.
Shot up Darnell with a long-ass gun and tossed it into the aquarium.
I have no idea what that object is. If I had to identify it, I would call it a gun of the long-ass variety. Some seaweed in there, too. Look,
Some seaweed.
Detective, I hate to break it to you. I ain't killing no one.
Stroke my chin real slow when I'm lying. And I was laughing super hard as Darnell was dying.
The name of the album is I Killed Darnell Simmons.
It's a concept album.
A kind of, that's a picture of you. A picture of you. And behind you is Darnell Simmons' body.
Coincidence.
You're going away for a long time, you understand? You're gonna get fast if it's the last thing you ever do. You hear me? Come back. I'll beat the audience. I'll beat the audience.
He's free to go.
What? No. No. We have everything we need.
No, it was Simmons' girlfriend. She just confessed to the whole thing. Infidelity, crime of passion. Let's go, Mr. Rack.
Bonus track. I got a ride or die, bitch. I think you get the gist. And when you let me out, I'm gonna blow a little kiss. This is my confession, admissible in court. I killed Darnell Simmons for sport. That's right. I'm a murderer. Come get me. Come down the hall. You can't get me. Okay. You got.
It's like spot on. When was this made?
8 years ago.
It's pretty much spot on. If in the rap lyric is specific statements that a normal person otherwise wouldn't know, right? Like the time a crime was committed, or the number of times somebody may have been shot, or the exact location where somebody was shot on their body, right? Shot in the neck, shot in the head, shot in the shoulder, right? The more specific it gets, the exact location, right? How the body fell, like face down, face up, whatever. I mean, the more specific it got, the more likely it would be admissible in court, at least under the California law. Thank you for watching this video. Now look, this trial of Young Thug, it's still ongoing at this time. So if you watch this video and you think of something else, some question that you'd like to ask, be sure to put it in the comments. Also, if there's another case out there that you're interested in and you want us to comment on, put that case in the comments. We'll be happy to do that in a future video. See you in the next one.